I've decided that I want to work on the eyes next because once I attach the tusks in the trunk, this is going to be a very delicate area, and the eyes are significantly less delicate than the tusks in the trunk. So I'm going to pop those on there first before this area gets all crowded. So I have a reference picture on my laptop of an elephant eye up close, so I recommend that you do the same thing. Use your Chromebook or your phone to look up a picture of your animal's eye just so you get the right shape and detail. All animals are totally different. So I'm going to start. The elephant's eye is actually very much shaped like ours. It's got the iris and then, you know, a pupil in the middle, but it's surrounded by eyelids that are shaped like this, which is very similar to ours. So I'm going to start by getting a little teeny ball of clay, and like I said earlier, the smaller the amount of clay, the quicker it dries out. So this little ball of clay is already super dry, so I'm just going to periodically add slip to it to make it a little bit moister. And I'm just gonna use my reference picture and the picture on the computer, and my first step is to place down the pupil or iris, you know, the center. And after that I'm going to use a little bit of my leftover coil from the tail, and I'm going to roll it even smaller because I'm going to make 2 eyelid coils that are going to rest around the pupil. So since the actual eyeball part is behind the eyelids, that's why I put that down first. And then I'll work on top of it, so it's kind of like adding layers to it. And I forgot to mention that this is so small that I would attach it just by using a little bit of slip and sticking it on there. You don't really need to score these because it's so itty bitty. You can smooth down the edges a little bit with like a pencil tool. Doesn't have to be perfect. My coil's getting a little dry, so I'm going to add some slip to it. Okay, so this might be thin enough. It's super tiny. And I'm going to stick it directly on my elephant's face, and it's cracking because it's so tiny. So I recommend continuously adding slip to the tiny details that you're working on. Especially since it's so dry outside, the clay is going to dry significantly faster. So I'm just shaping it the way that I think it should be, and I'm going to go in and cut off that extra. So this obviously is not done. I still need to add the bottom eyelid and shape it a little bit better, but that's the idea of how you would continue to do that. And I'm going to do that on the other side as well.